Hello, Cornhole fans, and welcome to another edition of the Texas Cornhole Show. My name is Baron Hodo, alongside John Sarzinski, and we have a very, very special guest today, Mr. Jeremiah Ellis. Jeremiah, tell us who you are.
I'm Jeremiah Ellis. Oh,
Give us a little bit of background on
Wow.
yourself and
Wow.
how you came into the cornhole world.
Groundbreaking news.
Cornhole. I mean, I found it's family functions like most people. My uncle always brought it around, and then learned there was a professional league, which was the ACO when I started, and it slowly transitioned into being ACL pro.
So, how long ago
That's
was that
about
when your cornhole journey started? How long ago was that?
I started playing competitively in 2017, but I've been playing cornhole since I can remember. I mean, 10 years old probably.
Okay.
Whoa, how old are you?
31.
So 21 years? I did the math in my head. So I didn't know cornhole was that old.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty old. I mean, the bags and the boards were junk. I mean, it wasn't nothing, but it ain't nothing like it is.
That might be the longest I've ever heard anybody say they've been playing cornhole.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about washers and horseshoes and graduating to cornhole in the backyard and then becoming competitive, but that's awesome.
Yeah, so did you play other sports growing up as a kid? What was your go-to?
Yeah, I played everything. I mean, my go-to sport was basketball, but yeah, I played football, basketball, baseball. I mean, anything that was competitive and I mean sport related, I really did it.
All right. And so one of our listeners had a question for you, your origin story, but also do you have a particular mentor in the cornhole game?
I would say I have a few. I just try to take a little bit from everybody. Probably when I first started playing competitively, Russ Funk was one of the guys who he played in our area. He's been playing a long time. He taught me a little bit of this and that. And
what was his name?
Adam Russ Funk.
Russ Funk. Never heard of him. Russ Funk. Adam Hissner.
Yeah, Adam. Who else is another one? Barry Hempy's helped me out a lot. I just try to listen and take a little bit of what they say and put it into the game.
So did you model like their throws? Did you just watch and see how they approach the game from a psychological level, or what was it that gained your attention?
Yeah, it was more of I feel like it's more mentally and strategy on the board rather than throw. I don't think not very many people throw like I do. I don't even know how I developed this throw, honestly. I'm one of those, I just I squeeze the bag and throw it. I don't really think what my arm's doing. And then finally the bag became flat and it just got a lot easier. So.
All right. Well, that's one of the big I have for you, man. I have to talk about your throw mechanics. And one of our listeners, Brian Renfrey, asked about, whether or not you have to throw that fast. So first of all, let's ask that question. Speed in your throw, when you grab the bags, you just throw them. You are one of the fastest players I've seen. Can you talk about that a little bit? Have you always been that fast at playing the game?
Yeah, I think I have. I don't know if like my mental game's helped out, but I don't even realize I'm throwing that fast, honestly. To me, I feel like I'm taking a couple seconds. It doesn't feel quick to me until I watch video, and then I'm like, yeah, it's just lightning bolt. But nah, I try to slow down sometimes, but I think slow to me is like maybe half a second.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the things I noticed is you do arrange the stack of 4 bags in a particular fashion. Am I right about that? You line them up and stack them up so they're a nice, perfect little stack. They're all oriented the same way. And then it's boom, 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 boom. And I figure you're orienting them like that. So when you do go fast, every time you grab a bag, it's exactly the same. Is that a good guess? Is that right?
Yeah, that's spot on. I mean, I don't do it because I throw fast. I do it because I like to do the same thing over and over and over because it makes sense. It's going to be the same way. The throw's going to look the same. But yeah, I stack them seam towards me and I grab them from the outside when I hold the ones in my hand and I throw seam in my palm. So it's just an easy transition from my hand to my hand. Yes.
Yeah, I study your mechanics for a little bit, and for people who haven't seen you throw, they should go check it out. ACO has a lot of footage of you playing cornhole. And you do, I think it's called supination. Palm is facing up. You basically bring your hand back to maybe your thigh, maybe slightly behind your thigh, but barely at all. And then you fire, boom. And it's fast, but it's also smooth, right? I guess all the time they've been playing is really smoothed it out. So it's rapid fire, but it's pretty silky smooth for how fast it is. But yeah, dude, I tried it myself this weekend. I love it. I want to try to throw more like you, to be honest. So if I become a pro and start winning, I'm going to credit you for showing me a mechanic system that works for me. So watch out.
So Jeremiah,
there we go.
When you're playing, does that come into mind in terms of fast play, right? In terms of your strategy, better yet, your opponent's strategy? Does it get them out of their game? Do they try to slow play you occasionally? Do they intentionally try to slow you down, or how does that come into play in competition?
I feel like the guys who don't like to throw in a rhythm try to slow down usually. And yes, I've had multiple people slow down, like probably using more than the shot clock, but it used to bother me big time. It don't really anymore, but yes, most of them try to slow down because there's no really keeping up. So yeah, they just try to, that's about the best they got, I guess.
Probably even worse when you're in a rhythm, right? When you're throwing really, really well and you're throwing lightning fast, they're trying to create some type of momentum switch.
Yeah, to do anything to slow them down is what I'm thinking people are doing. Yeah. One of the questions I had is like, so you're throwing so fast, and a lot of times you maintain that quick momentum and speed between pitches, even when the board conditions are changing. So the question I had is like, are you making the decision of your shot choice like right as the other guy's bag stops? Are you making that decision like, during the pitch? I assume you have to make the decision of what your bag is going to do, and then you execute your motion, right? But you just are doing it so fast. I'm wondering, are you picking your spot? Are you throwing to a target? Are you picking your shot choice? Are you just a rhythm thrower? Like, what's going on?
So you thinking too much already. Like that's my cornhole game, not that sophisticated. I look at the hole only. I don't look at spot on the board, none of that. And I already know what shots I can shoot. And whatever your bag does, that's what it tells my brain. It just shoots it back like, hey, we're going to go reverse cut. We're going to go roll bag. So I guess you could probably get me off my game by, I don't know. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's just natural. It's like, I'm trying to think of it too. I guess I just do math very quickly in my brain is more that's how it works, I guess.
All right, cool. So just, you're not thinking too much about it. You're looking at the hole, and from experience, you know what to do, and you do it. And boom, 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 you're going 4 bags.
So with Major League Baseball this year, Jeremiah, they've come out obviously with the pitch clock, right? What would that look like in the cornhole world for some type of pitch clock, for instance, that people could actually see from the other end?
Well, they've got it, right? Doesn't ACL have a pitch clock now?
I do believe they use it on broadcast. Yeah, I think they do have the pitch clock.
Yeah, on the broadcast court, I want to say you've got 19, 20 seconds, something like that, from when the other bag stops moving.
Yeah. So you got 3-second buffer, I believe, is what once the bag stops, you got 3 seconds after that, and then the shot clock starts.
And the timeouts are automatic. You don't have to call a timeout. If you extend past your time, they just count it against you. I would think pressure they're putting on other players is going to help you out a lot, I would think.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with it. I think
that's not a problem for you.
Yeah. I'd be interested. I mean, I would like to use the shot clock. It'd be nice to have it there just to like see it, because I've played a few people that take forever, and I do count in my head, which does mess me up. So.
All right, cool. So you are, I believe this is correct, that you are the reigning king of cornhole. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yes. And so you had a decision to make, ACO or ACL. I assume that's correct. ACL, I think, makes players choose. And so you went from ACO to ACL. I'm just curious about that decision. Was it a tough one, or was it pretty easy to go for the bigger money and tougher competition?
I've never played cornhole for money. So that was not like the biggest deciding factor, I guess, but it was a tough decision. I mean, I played that since I can remember. I mean, I don't like change very much. And so I think that's what stopped me from making the decision. I thought about it a couple years ago, but yeah, after I talked to my wife, I talked to a couple friends, it was. And then my son is always yelling at me like, "Why aren't you on ESPN, Dad?" And I'm like, oh, give it a try. I was like, worst case scenarios, I don't like it, and I go back to what I was doing. But so far, I love the ACL.
Yeah, has it been fun? So you've been to you qualified for the ACL as a pro at Worlds. I believe that's correct.
Yeah. I mean,
okay. And what a lot of people might not know is that so a lot of people that watch our show, they think Sammy Soto was a lock for Rookie of the Year. All right. At Worlds, you double dip Sammy in the advanced singles bracket. I'm pretty sure that's right, right? So we've got some competition for potential Rookie of the Year, but it's kind of hilarious to say that you've been playing cornhole for 21 years and you're in the Rookie of the Year running, right? But that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a rookie. It's a weird thing to say. It's a weird feeling, but yeah, I guess I'm considered a rookie.
Yeah, and you're one of these guys that, I'm always really curious how you make it happen. So I use the term, you're a real man. You've got a job and you've got a family. And you're competing against these guys at the highest level. And some of these dudes have nothing else to do but throw bags. They have no family. They've got no job. They're true cornhole professionals, right? All they do is play cornhole. The only way they make money is by throwing bags, right? So I'm just curious to get your feedback on that. Like, how do you go and compete against these guys or how do you maintain that high level of play when you don't have as much time as everybody else?
I think it's all in my head. I mean, once you develop a throw, it's muscle memory. You don't really need to. I don't know. I feel like I don't need to do much. I do have to kind of knock the rust off every now and then. So I don't practice. I play. I guess technically once a week I play a blind draw, or I'll throw in the yard for an hour. But other than that, yeah, I got a job, 4 kids, a wife. I think it's all in my head. Like, it's just mental. I believe I can hit every shot there is, and it just happens that way.
Now, wait a minute.
He said he plays once a week.
Once a week in a blind draw, or throws for an hour, and that's it. There's no training regimen that you have in place or anything like that. What about new shot development? For instance, if you're trying to craft a roll bag or whatever the case may be, is there any type of, training approach to that kind of thing?
So I didn't even have a roll bag until I took a whole year off, had my 4th baby, and took a year off. And when I finally got back going into it, I guess my release was a little bit different. It was a little, I don't know, pitch the bat, like the bag angle was up, and then I didn't understand how that happened, and I just messed with it. So no, new shots, I just mess with it while I throw. We don't really try to do much different.
And is that mainly on your release? Is that where you work on that?
Yeah, my wrist angle, like, so if I go to the blind draws and I'm trying to work on something else, yeah, I'll just do that over and over and over. I just change my wrist angle or the height I throw the bag or I just tinker with it, I guess, really. But I don't do it often.
So with having a family and a job and all these other extracurricular activities that you got going on, how do you find time to travel for these larger events?
So that is one of the biggest reasons I never played the ACL. I didn't have enough vacation time to do so. So I didn't see a point, and I finally got enough vacation at work to make the events. And that's really all it is. My wife, the kids usually come with me to a couple of them, and the other ones I'm solo. It's just vacation time. I finally got to work.
Okay, nice. So this is the year where you're going for it in ACL. Love it. So yeah. Are there any particular tournaments that you're looking forward to that you have on the calendar?
I have the ones they've posted on the calendar. That's about it. I mean, I'll be at every national, Worlds, and then I think there's only 4 shootouts this year, so I plan on hitting all of those.
Okay, right on. So another one of our listeners, Chase Lester, has a specific question about bags. So he said you're moving from a Wizard to a Viper R. So number one, is that correct? Is that the bag you're planning on throwing, the Viper R?
Yeah, that's what I've been throwing lately. But I actually went from a Viking.
A Viking?
Yeah, I threw a Viking most of. It's always been that same kind of material. Yep. Different companies, I guess, but it's always been that.
Yeah,
I threw Wizards for the first time ever, really, in tournament at Worlds, so that's probably what he's thinking of. But that was the first time I ever threw Wizards ever. But yeah, it's been a different transition, but it makes everything so much easier. Like, it's crazy how much easier it is to throw a little faster of a bag.
And they just go in the hole, right? The extra speed just helps them melt in the hole.
Yeah, not even that. I mean, because they've slowed down a little bit, so they're a nice speed. They're not as slow as I would like them to be, but they're a decent speed. So they get around the hole, and it's just like impossible to keep it from going in.
So I'm sorry, did you say Widow R's?
No, Viper R. All right, I might have said Widow.
Okay. So and they have a little bit of a bigger template, pointy corners. Is that that's what I think about that bag. What do you think about it?
I think they're huge. Yeah. So going from any bag to Ultra it was uncomfortable in my hand at first, but you just slow. I guess you just slowly get used to it.
So everything. I'm sorry to cut you off. What was that?
Every other bag feels tiny now. So.
Yeah, but the bigger bags have such an advantage. I think they have such an advantage, and people don't. I've been trying to make bigger bags, and people always complain. It's huge, and I'm like, I know it's huge, but just get it around the hole. It's easier to push. It's easier for a part of the bag to get in the hole. It's easier to throw an airmail drag with it. There's so many reasons why you want to throw a bigger template bag. It's crazy.
I mean, I would agree, but not with like carpet, not like genuine carpet that's slow.
Oh, like slow stuff. Yeah.
That's more bag to hang up around the hole. So I mean,
okay, you're right.
I guess it may be better, but I think a little faster bag with a bigger bag. I agree.
So you bring up a great point that we actually talked about a show or two ago about what kind of advice would you give a new player or someone that's just getting into the competitive environment and getting better and better as it goes? Would you recommend a slow bag for them to start out or a fast bag?
So I would recommend. Man, that's a hard question. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, I would say a medium speed bag. I wouldn't say.
Oh, come on, that wasn't the question.
Because with slow bags, yes, you're gonna learn to throw it flat. Maybe I mean you're gonna need rotation on it. But with a fast bag, you're not gonna learn how to manipulate the bag. You're not gonna be able to learn how to make it roll or cut or any of that. So I would say like a 5 speed, 5.8 would be like a solid. But yes, I would recommend learn. Once you get your throw flat, yes, you need to throw slow bags.
Okay. So you're in the Grant school. Throw slow bags until you flatten out your bag.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I guess you guys are right. I mean, you're way better than I am. So
same. Yeah.
I'm fast bag all the way. I think new players should throw fast bags because it's more likely to go in the hole. You're not going to get punished for bad throws. I get it. But why don't you just throw a fast bag until it flattens out and then move over to a slow bag?
Well, yeah, you can do that. I'm saying, yeah, I say throw whatever until you learn how to throw it flat.
Well, and that's what's funny about your response is because we had Grant obviously on the show and he was talking about starting out with a slow bag. And when I started, and I think the majority of new players start out with a fast bag, to John's point, it's just easier to get it in the hole, right, at that point. And so people gravitate towards that because they don't want to be, humiliated on the courts. But ultimately, Grant said you're going to become a much better player if you use a slow bag to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna develop more shots and understand the way your mechanics work for yourself and how everything moves on the board with a slower bag easier.
So I just want to make sure I've got this right. You're moving from a BG Viking to an Ultra Viper R. Yep. And that's a pretty big difference, in my opinion. That's a
big difference in bags.
Yeah, and
I would say also, yeah, it is.
Yeah, but that Viper R is a good bag. Like, it is very hole friendly and very fun to throw. It's a lot of fun.
That bag's disgusting. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. There's a reason it's like the most popular bag in ACL by far. Like, if you ever go to Cornhole and sort by like most popular bags, it's the Viper R, like way on top, way ahead of everybody else. So yeah, you're sponsored by Team Ultra. Is that right?
That's correct.
You're on Team Ultra. I'm curious how that came about. Did they come to you or did you go to them?
Yeah, they actually reached out to me first, and it was actually nice. Somebody finally is like, "Hey, yo, I want you," because I was over here like, is somebody gonna call me? Am I supposed to talk to people? Really no, but yeah. So it was nice to. They wanted me, and that's the way we went. So
yeah, that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the show, man, is so that people in Texas are listening. Our listener base is like pretty much just Texas and just this part of Texas.
Right.
And I just want to make sure people know who you are, man, because they're going to be watching you all year if they watch ACL, and almost everybody around here watches it. So I'm glad everybody gets to know you. And you're an exciting and fun player to watch. And I wanted to talk about your mental game a little bit. You do talk, right? You get hyped. You get hyped up when you play. I mean, I kind of want to make a comparison to Jordan Power just because that's somebody that everybody knows, right? But I'm not calling you a Jordan Power, but you do get hyped, right? But you back it up. Like I've seen you say things like nobody's beating me today, and then you go win King of Cornhole or the ACO Pro shootout or whatever they call it. What's the secret to having a mental attitude like that, where you actually talk the talk, but then you walk the walk and you actually win?
So I mean, I guess I've just been always extremely competitive, and I always want to be great at everything I do. It doesn't matter what it is. So I think it came from that, but I think the mental strength came from I finally, after years of not listening to my wife, I finally went to therapy and just talking to a therapist back and forth for I think it's been 2 years now. Has really what has done it for me.
Is that right? So do you do it in person or like over the internet? Like, how does that work out?
So when I first started, we did a little bit of both, but it's hard to like feel. I don't know. It's a weird. I just don't like doing it over the phone, I guess. So a little more in person. We do it in person every time.
More of like a human connection. I've heard talk therapy is like amazing for people. It's something I want to try out too. So I'm gonna give it a shot and let you know how it goes.
I recommend it to everybody now. So
is that right? And that's a lot of guys, would want to hide that, right? They don't want to talk about it. They're going to try to keep it a secret. They don't want to be seen walking into like a therapist's office and shit like that. So kudos to you, man, for just coming out and saying it. I go to therapy and it works.
Yeah, you got to embrace who you are. I mean, who cares what everybody else thinks, right?
Man, I love it.
Jeremiah, I got a question for you as well about, you mentioned at the top of the show about being in competitive sports throughout your childhood and growing up. And cornhole has evolved so quickly and so rapidly that a lot of kids now are just jumping straight into cornhole, becoming very good very quickly. But the team competitive sports, they're really not a part of. So, whether it's in middle school or high school, even, they're just not taking part in basketball or football or any of those types of team sports. How did that influence you and your competitive nature and your approach to the game today?
I mean, I believe that cornhole is going to be here for as long as we know those childhood days of pee-wee football and high school sports. I don't even think you're allowed to play in those if you're making money, right? So I recommend in team sports all the way through until you become an adult. Who got plenty of time for cornhole, but I think team sports builds so much more than just being good at sports. It does a lot more. Friendships, camaraderie. You teach life lessons.
Yeah, social skills, right? Like I said, I grew up obviously in team sports throughout my whole life, and I just think it gives you a different dynamic that you don't get if you don't, take part in those. What do you think, John?
You're probably right, because I never played team sports. Maybe I should have. I played golf on a team. I guess that kind of counts. Played soccer as a little kid, but yeah, I never really played many team sports. And I definitely know that people that like team sports and encourage their children to do it are like diehards. Like, it's really, really important to do it. So there's definitely something there.
Well, and I think, if you take the parental mix out of it, right, that's where it becomes kind of crazy sometimes. But definitely, I think the social skills, Jeremiah, that you talk about, especially in those early formative years, is really important on your growth and how you approach, having a competitive edge. I think it's extremely important.
Yeah. So, this is kind of a no-brainer question, but what are your expectations for this year? right? So you're going to ACL. You made the decision to do it. You've got a bunch of, you've already said you're going to try to make it to every tournament, every national, every pro shootout. Do you set expectations?
No, not really. I don't really do so. I mean, you're shooting for number one. That's the goal. I mean, may come up a little short, but that's always the goal. I mean, I get talent's thick, this and that, but I believe if you don't believe you can beat every single person in the sport you're playing, what are you doing it for? I mean, so yeah, I shoot for first in everything I do.
I love that mentality and that approach. But is there a hit list you have? Like, is Mark Richards on your radar? Is you know what I mean? There's a lot of people up there at the top. Is there someone that you like point to saying, that's somebody I'm going to show I'm on the scene?
So I always tell myself I want the big dog. I want the best. I want the biggest player there is. So I can either figure out what I got to fix to beat that guy, or I know that I'm him. So I want all the big dogs. That's that. It ain't, call it a hit list, call it whatever you want, but I like to play the best of the best.
I love that.
Yeah, I would have to think that's one of the reasons you had to go to ACL, right? That's where they all are.
Yeah, a lot of chirping,
A lot of chirping.
Yeah.
Man, right on. So I gotta admit, I'm kind of tapped out on questions, which I thought I was gonna have so many for you. You got anything else on your mind that you want to get out there?
I don't know right this second. I'm a little tapped out myself. Worked all day.
Tired, man. Today was a long day for me.
Need some more of that Black Rifle
I know.
coffee, right?
More Black Rifle energy. How about you, man? You want to fill the dead air?
Well, I do want to ask another question along the lines of, you're on the scene now. We want people to know who you are. Obviously, you've impressed us. We like what we see. We like to watch you play. I think it's entertaining. We love your energy that you bring to the court. As you're talking to people that are just getting at that level of play, maybe it's the Sammy Sotos of the world, right? And is there something that you've seen or you've noticed that really helps you get energized and focused for the next tourney?
I think what motivates me and gets me amped up is to just be better than I was yesterday. So if I shot this good at one term, I'm trying to better myself every time. So that's really what motivates me and what gets me going.
What about new people that
keep going?
Did you see people that chirp?
No. I said, like, the newer guys that come in that just can't get discouraged. They just got to remember,
Got
better yourself. Keep going.
That was kind of where I was going with that next. Does frustration set in, and does it take you out of your game, or do you just absolutely not allow that to happen?
Frustration's always gonna happen. It's part of the process. You're not gonna get where you want without being frustrated. So yeah, it's taken me out of my game a few times, but it's about learning and trying to deal with it, I guess.
So do you mentally talk to yourself and say, look, that's a bad shot, or whatever the case may be, it's behind me now, watch this? Is that kind of the approach you take?
Yeah, I kind of talk to myself more than anything. When I'm getting all riled up and excited, I'm really just trying to get myself going. So when my opponent hits a big shot, it gets me going even more. I don't know why, but I enjoy to see people hit pretty sweet shots. But yeah, I mean, that's what it gets me going, I guess.
Yeah, he's not always talking to himself either. Right. Sometimes it's out loud, which I like to watch. One of the things I just thought of, going back to your mechanics and your kind of rapid fire approach and the way you throw. And lately I've noticed a lot of people on social media have been posting images of their wrist braces. I think Noah Wooten might be one of them. Jackson Gore is another one of them. And it's these people that are getting repetitive motion injuries. And so first question, when I woke up the next day after trying your move, front of my shoulder was a little bit sore, which is a new spot for me. But I'm just curious about repetitive motion injuries. Have you had anything you look out for, anything you do to avoid that kind of stuff?
So yes, I do get that. I've had that happen to me twice. It sucks. I mean, it's more or less you got to sit around and hang out until it feels better. But yeah, I mean, it happens. That's, I guess, me not practicing every day or throwing every day. I guess that's what helps me avoid it at this point. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of because I have had it from throwing way too much. I tell some people when they start to get in a slump, it's probably because you threw too much, like you're doing too much. Just
take a break.
Your body.
All right, man. So when you take a break, what do you do?
A little bit of everything. I run around with these kids. We play a little Xbox.
So you have 4 kids? Is that what you said?
I do. Yes. 10, 6, 5, and 2.
Oh man, you are in the thick of it.
Yes, you are.
That is hard.
No, it's a blast.
It's fun. I agree. I've got 3 kids. I agree it's great, but man, it's not easy.
I agree. It is not easy. You want to pull your hair out sometimes, but it's part of the fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, favorite Xbox video game?
Probably Call of Duty.
Really? You're a COD guy?
Yeah, I suck at I suck at video games in general, but I don't know. It's my son plays it. I play Fortnite with him here and there. Just really depends on what he's doing, I guess.
You know, one of our listeners, Roro, shout out Roro's Cornhole Express, wants you to describe your #1 hamburger.
My #1 hamburger.
Yeah, we're changing topics.
Like from a fast food restaurant, or like what I would want on it. Like, what do you mean?
Sky's the limit, bro. We can start with fast food. #1 fast food hamburger.
Man, #1. I mean, I had a Dave's double today, so I'd probably have to say that right now.
Wendy's, fresh, never frozen, square patties.
Yeah, but you can't go wrong. I mean, I like to mix it up. You get burnt out on the same thing, but I'd say my go-to burger, it's got to be a double. Lettuce. I don't like anything but onions. I don't like onions at all.
All right. Are you a mayo or a mayonnaise guy? I mean, mayonnaise or mustard?
Oh, that's a good. Man, it depends what it is. I like them both, but I think on a burger it's mayo all day.
All right, so you're gonna go with the Dave's double. Hey, do you have a favorite fast food hamburger?
You know, Sonic hamburger is pretty tough.
The Sonic?
Yeah. Obviously, Whataburger for me. We're from Texas,
right?
That's so right. Whataburger is definitely the go-to here. But
yeah, Whataburger is pretty good. Yeah. But dude, honestly, I might be ashamed of myself right now. I like those little tiny baby McDonald's cheeseburgers. I will crush those little things.
Little baby McDonald's?
The little tiny one. I mean, they're small, like the regular McDonald's cheeseburger.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Just
a little tiny little baby. Boom. They sell them in like a 2-pack.
They'll get you by in a pinch, but that's
yeah, you could eat them on the way home and not tell your wife you got it. You know? It's like a little secret cheeseburger.
What about at events? You know, do you socialize with people? Do you hang out? Do you like to, spend time by yourself just to get your mental preparation going, or what's your daily activity like at a large event?
I want to talk to everyone. I want to joke around. I want to talk crap to you. we're going to mingle the whole time. So we're going to walk around. We're going to drink some beers and shoot the crap.
We should call this the Matt Guy question. Do you drink alcohol while competing?
Oh, yeah.
Really? So is there like are you watching the levels, or like, how are you maintaining?
I maintain the levels by, I don't really know how I maintain. I guess I try to, but I drink way too much at the regional. So I try to, like, a beer every hour is what I shoot for after, I get a little buzz going.
So do you have a group that you kind of gravitated towards during, these competitions and things?
Oh yeah, they got a name. Dude, give a shout out to your boys. I forgot their name.
The Asheville Cornhole League is their name.
Okay.
AKL?
Yep, AKL.
I went and liked one of their TikToks. I thought it was fantastic.
Which one was it? The one of the, like, drone flying over?
No, you guys had a team event.
Oh, yeah.
And you went on Facebook and you said, "Hey, Logan Chamberlain, I heard you're in town. This is my house." And then you went and won. And then your boys at AKL posted a TikTok and it had a bunch of Logan misses where he's like just throwing it off the back of the board. I found it entertaining.
That's all. People stop a little smack and not take it so personal. It's not personal. It's just fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was playing with Trey Field. It's not like, it was
he's not a scrub.
Yeah, not a scrub. Who was the other pro on your team? It was you and
I think I was the only pro. Well, no, I think Braden's an ACO pro. I think so. Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Well, congratulations on your victory. I was actually following it on Scoreholio, I'll be honest. I'll admit that.
Yeah, you're watching it?
He got me pumped up, bro, with his post.
I love it.
That's pretty cool. I mean, he gets on social media, he's like, not at my house, dog, and then wins.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was a good.
That's actually the moment. That's the moment I became a Jeremiah Ellis fan. That was the instant time. Yeah.
Well, you're going to see a lot more of that over the course of the year, I'm sure.
I can't wait. All right, man. You got anything else?
No, Jeremiah, you've been great, man. We can't thank you enough for joining us and sharing a little bit of your world with us. And man, you're welcome back anytime. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. You ever are in the DFW Metroplex, hit me up. We got AJ Sports, our flagship sponsor, is a cornhole only venue. Cornhole first. It's amazing.
That's
yeah, man. Hit me up if you're ever in town. Maybe is there a major? I don't know. Maybe there'll be a big ACL event here. I'm not sure.
I'm sure there will. I mean, they got to, right? I feel like they spread them out pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely hit us up. First beer's on us.
Yeah. All right, man. Jeremiah Ellis, guys. He's I'm gonna go ahead and call it right now. I hope I don't make any enemies. Rookie of the year.
Wow.
And I'm being a little contrarian because everybody is going for Sammy Soto. Also, Ryan Trader. Have you played that kid yet?
No, but I've seen Ryan, and he's solid. He is.
Ryan Trader's legit.
Yes.
At 13 years old, another potential rookie of the year. But I'm going to go Jeremiah Ellis, mainly because real man with a job and kids. And to see you pull that off, to beat all those other people that are cornhole only, it would be amazing. So go get him.
I got you.
All right, man.
Have a great season. Good luck.
Later, guys.
Later.